This is spinach, which you're probably familiar with, whether you've eaten it in a salad or seen it gulped from a can from a cartoon character. And these are collard greens, which you're perhaps less familiar with, or maybe you've never even eaten. You should. Today we'll compare spinach and collard greens, highlighting their similarities, differences, and how to cook with each. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And today we are discussing two heroes of the produce aisle and beyond, spinach versus collard greens. Now, for all the differences that these two have, they also have quite a few similarities. So before we get into each, let's talk about what they both have in common. And the first commonality comes from just looking at them. Both of these vegetables are known as dark leafy greens. And these were the kind of things that your mom told you to eat growing up because both of them are just bursting with nutrition. They have a ton of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They are really good for you. Both of these can be found fresh in the produce aisle of your local market, and you'll probably see them in different forms. So you'll probably see whole leaf versions just like this. They're often very close to each other, and you can also find them bagged. And in bagged form, they're often pre-washed and cut, so that's a really convenient way to buy these fresh. If you want something that's spoil-proof, you can also find each of them in cans. So here's some canned spinach here, and here is some canned collard greens, and both of these are the same size. You can find different sizes of both, and these are of course found in the canned vegetable section. Now, no matter where in the world you're watching this video, it's highly likely that both spinach and collard greens are available and eaten in some sort of cuisine. Both of these have been eaten by mankind for thousands of years, and well, you can find them on menus everywhere. Now, in addition to being nutritious, both spinach and collard greens are relatively inexpensive, so it's a good way to get nourishment even if you're on a tight budget. Each is also available throughout the year, so no matter the season, you can enjoy both spinach and collard greens. Both spinach and collard greens are excellent on their own as a side dish, or each of them can also serve as an ingredient in a recipe. And finally, if you're buying either of these fresh, especially in whole leaf form, you're going to want to wash them first. They often have some sand or some sediment in them, so be sure that you wash each of these in cold water and dry them thoroughly before cooking. Okay, let's begin with spinach. Spinach is by far the more popular of these two. I mean, it could be the most popular green available, and people use it every day. Now, spinach is actually a relative of beets, and you know spinach leaves because they are tender, they're pretty thin, and they've got just like a mild, kind of earthy, grassy flavor. It's spinach. I'm sure you've had this at some point in your life. Now, compared to collard greens, spinach is even more widely available. For example, if you go to the fresh produce section of your store, you're bound to see a lot of it from different brands even, whereas you might find a more limited supply of collard greens. And in addition to these big leaves here, you can also find what's called baby spinach, which is just kind of like miniaturized, even more tender version of spinach. And that's the kind that's often used raw in salads. But as you can see, even this more mature variety of spinach, it's still really thin, it's still tender, and you can eat the whole thing, including the stem. The stem really isn't all that tough or fibrous. So, for example, if you wanted to use this whole thing in cooking, let's say we were steaming it, you could put the entire leaf, including the stem, in your pot or skillet or what have you, and just cook it all down. Now, in addition to fresh and canned, you can also find spinach in the frozen food section, and that also makes it readily available. Although, of course, if you're trying to imitate that favorite cartoon character, well, you would just eat it out of the can. Now, I don't have the forearms of Popeye, so I can't just kind of, pop it into my mouth, bursting the lid and all, but here's to cartoons as a kid. Spinach. Now, no matter whether it's fresh, canned, or frozen, spinach is highly versatile. You can eat this stuff fresh, raw in salads. You can eat it in something like a creamed spinach recipe. You can blend it in smoothies. You can steam it. The types of things you can do with spinach in recipes is almost countless. It's just such a versatile ingredient, either as a side dish or incorporated into something else you are making as an ingredient. Spinach has a particularly special relationship with eggs, whether that's hard-boiled eggs atop a spinach salad or spinach as an ingredient in an omelet. And in a lot of applications with spinach, it's known as a la Florentine. But one really important thing to know about spinach is that it cooks down to nothing. So if you've ever taken like a huge bag of spinach like this and you're thinking you're gonna get a lot out of it, and you put it in a pot or a skillet to steam it, you'll know it wilts down to nothing. It's kind of amazing just how much it shrinks. So just beware of that. If you're making it for a large gathering, you're gonna want more than just one bag. You're probably gonna want a few, because once you start cooking it, it really does shrink. It's quite incredible to watch. And finally, another thing to know about spinach is that it cooks very, very fast. Because it is so tender, well, it just doesn't take really any time at all to cook. So if you're steaming it or you're sauteing it, it's just going to be done in a real hurry. Now, I must say there is kind of one ironic thing about spinach, and that is, for as nutritious as it is, it's absolutely delicious in comfort food type recipes. I have to admit, I love creamed spinach. I love spinach artichoke dip. Yes, these are more like fatty type foods, but oh my gosh, they're so delicious. And well, they're a little more justifiable because, well, after all, they have spinach in them. Okay, let's talk collard greens. Collard greens are a relative of kale. They're within the cabbage family, and you might also know them as simply collards. That's what they're often called, in addition to collard greens. So when you hear collards, that's the same thing as collard greens. Now, like spinach, these are available and enjoyed around the world, but here in America, they are especially popular in the South. Now, I have to admit, growing up in California and living here all my life, I wasn't really exposed to these things like others would be in America, but they are absolutely delicious. And again, if you are from the South, well, you know collards like you know grits.
Oh yeah.
Now, as you can see, collard leaves, well, these are thicker, they're bigger, they're more robust. I mean, compared to this, spinach leaf, even this larger one, it makes this spinach look kind of wimpy. Collard leaves, these are tough, they're more fibrous, and their stem, as you can see, well, it's a lot thicker. And you really probably don't want to be eating this. So if you're preparing collard greens and you're working with a full leaf here, you're going to want to cut this stem out because it really is tough. But these collard greens, yeah, they are thick, leathery. Again, they're kind of like kale, and as far as taste, they taste kind of like a cross between kale and cabbage. And they are definitely heartier, more robust, but delicious in their own right. They're a little more bitter, and they have kind of, to me, they kind of have a mustardy note. They're a little bit hard to describe, but oh, you really got to try these. Now, compared to spinach, collard greens are a little less widely available. Yes, you will find them in your local grocery market most likely, but again, you're probably not going to find the range of them that you would spinach. And you can find them canned, but I've never seen frozen collard greens. Maybe they do exist, but I haven't seen them. Have you? Now, as far as cooking collard greens, they really are an opposite to spinach. So where spinach cooks quickly, it doesn't take a whole lot of heat, collard greens, I mean, these guys, you can like slow cook these, you can stew them, you can braise them. Because these guys are so tough, they can really stand up to that heat and they're better for it. A slower, low heat cooking really breaks these leaves down, makes them nice and tender. Now, a favorite way to cook collard greens is with some sort of pork product, whether that's salt pork or pork neck bones or even a ham hock. You can just kind of simmer these or stew these and they become, oh, just absolutely almost just creamy and delicious. Now, that said, you can eat collard greens raw. If you want to slice them thin and put them in a salad, you can do that. One of my favorite ways of cooking collard greens, when I'm in a hurry especially, is I cut them really thin and then I actually saute them. So I might saute them in some olive oil with some onions and garlic, and that is a really delicious way, similar to how you might cook up some kale. So you can cook them that way, but as far as just different types of cooking, I'd say that collard greens are just as versatile as spinach, just in their own way. So there you go, spinach versus collard greens. Both of these are absolutely delicious and they're so versatile in cooking. But now I have to hear from you. Which is your favorite and what do you cook with it? Have you been cooking spinach all your life? Have you been cooking these beautiful collard greens? Do you have some maybe favorite family recipes? I would love to hear about them in the comments below. Okay, before we get to trivia time, a little show and tell. Look what I thrifted this week. A thrift store called Savers finally opened up near me, and look what I got. This beautiful vintage enameled cast iron. This is made by Copco in Denmark, and it's this enameled cast iron pot. But I do have to admit, well, the inside is, it's pretty sketchy. This has lived a few lives. So I am going to have to clean this some way, try to revive it and renew it. If you have any ideas, let me know. Maybe we'll even make a video of trying to, bring this thing back to life. If that's something that you'd like to see, let me know. But I figured for, $6.49, I really wanted to give this thing a second life. I've got a special place in my heart for vintage enameled cast iron, and this one is new to the house. Okay, trivia time. Last week I asked you to identify this rather strange looking culinary tool, and several of you immediately knew this as a pastry cutter. This is what you would use when you are quote unquote cutting in a fat to dough. So let's say we're making biscuits. You would use this to cut in the butter or the lard to make that dough nice and crumbly and ready for those biscuits. Congratulations to everybody who correctly identified this as a pastry cutter. For this week's culinary trivia, we have a knife, but it's a special kind. You may not have one of these in your collection. What kind of knife is this? If you know the type of knife this is, or you have a guess, put it in the comments below, and I will of course let you know the correct answer in the next episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.